Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 action film Crossfire. The film is written and directed by Yadu Krishman and it stars Louis Mandylor, Kevin Gage and Sam Wyshek. Right, the film focuses on Louis Mandylor's character, who is something of like a super agent. We see at the beginning of the film, he kind of comes back to the office after pulling off this huge operation where he's taken down some bad guys, and everybody's applauding him while he's coming in the office. He goes to see his boss and essentially resigns. He wants to try and reconnect with his daughter, who has kind of become estranged from him after the death of his wife, her mother. So he resigns. He tries to start reconnecting with his daughter. She's very cold initially. They start slowly reconnecting, and then his past seemingly comes back to haunt him when there is a mysterious stranger rises up from his past, hell-bent on causing chaos in his life, excuse me, and attempting to kill his daughter. Right. What are my thoughts on Crossfire? Well, this is a low-budget film, a low-budget action film, which might, that's fine. I watch and review quite a lot of them on this channel. And I do want to say I am actually quite a fan of Louis Mandylor. I think he does decent quality, like low-budget type action, sci-fi, even horror sometimes. I like it when he's teamed up with Scott Adkins. I've mentioned this before. I reviewed a film recently with Louis Mandylor in that wasn't brilliant, but it wasn't shockingly bad or anything either. It was like a Die Hard clone in a prison. So I think he's a solid choice to kind of put in a film like this, Louis Mandylor. I think he can deliver decent action performances. However, this film is really quite bad, and it's there's no easy way to say it really. This film is not particularly good, and there's an awful lot of reasons for that. Number one, the acting. I suspect, many of the actors in this film are quite new to their jobs. Maybe I suspect as well. This has like been funded privately or whatever, and then someone's going to put the mates in it, and there's so many unrecognizable faces in this film. 90% of them, can't act, unfortunately. I mean, the film starts really with a weird scene in like a dorm with his daughter chatting to her friends at school about her father. But literally all of her friends, English isn't their first language. So it's like watching a conversation between 4-5 girls. None of them can really speak English, and the ones that can speak English can't act, and the ones that can't speak English very well, it looks like they can't act. So it's a terrible introduction to the film. And then we are introduced to Louis Mandylor's character, who literally just walks into the office to riotous applause from his colleagues because he's just pulled off this huge operation, get rid of these bad guys before he resigns. And you're kind of like, that's your introduction to this character. It would have been far better for us to see just a few minutes of this operation, how important it was, and what it meant, because it ties into the rest of the film. We don't really learn anything about Louis Mandylor's character, his past, that is of substance or relevance to this film, other than that his wife died, and the daughter kind of blames him for it all and stuff like that. But then you get this character who's literally just called Stranger, played by Kevin Gage, who pops up now and again in the film to do mysterious and sinister things, targeting his daughter mainly. And you're kind of like, okay, well, who is it? What is his connection to Louis Mandylor? And that question is never answered. And it's just bizarre. And I just think if the script had linked it better, you would have felt the threat a little bit more. It just felt like a complete stranger, ironically, which is what his name was targeting his daughter. You know it's probably someone from his past, but the film does a really terrible job of explaining who he is and why he's doing it. And then it's an action film that is painfully low on action. And what action we do get doesn't seem to tie into the rest of the film for the most part. His daughter, infuriatingly, I mean, there's a point in the film where they kind of realise that he and she is being targeted by somebody. They're in a car crash. There's all sorts of things go on. And yet she still keeps wanting to go out with her friends and stuff. And there's like a nightclub scene where she starts getting assaulted and stuff, and the dad just turns up and saves the day and beats people up in a nightclub, and you're just kind of thinking, well, A, how did he know where she was? And B, it just seems so ridiculous. Just take, you know, it was just odd that the action doesn't tie in. And then there's other scenes in the film where they don't play out properly. An example of that is, like I say, I've said that they're in a car accident. The car crashes and the daughter's injured and ends up in hospital. And then there's like a scene where this stranger guy turns up. It appears to be at the hospital, and you're thinking, oh, I hope the daughter's in danger now. And it shows him kind of killing a couple of guards and then shutting this door behind him. And then the film just shifts to another scene, and the daughter's at a hospital, and you're kind of like, what? You thought it was going to lead to like a confrontation between this stranger and Louis Mandelor's character, or even the daughter, or something like that. And you're thinking, right, we're going to finally find out who this guy is. Nope, you don't. The script and the dialogue is really poor, and that's me being polite. Really, really bad. And there's just other scenes that just make you scratch your head. Louis Mandelor's character is supposed to be like this super agent, and he knows someone's trying to take out his daughter, take her life, and it's being targeted through him. And there's a scene where he just keeps leaving her on her own. There's a scene where he says, "I'm just going to pop to the store. Do you need anything?" And he goes out, and there's like a package left outside on the floor with some kind of note on it, and it's in like a heart box, something like that. And he picks it, and it's for his daughter, and he picks it up and he takes it in and gives it. He says, "Oh, we expecting a delivery?" And she's like, "No." And he gives it and then walks back to the car to head off to the store. And you're kind of like, are you serious? I mean, once he's in the car, he has like this realization that, oh, hang on a minute, that could be something sinister. And then he runs back in. But you're just thinking, this guy's supposed to be like a super agent. And the second I saw that on the porch outside, I'm thinking, yeah, that's not good. So the film, if you like, makes him out to be an imbecile at times. It's not properly thought out, and there's just nothing really here to recommend here in this film, unfortunately. If you're a big fan of Louis Mandelor, maybe, but you get the impression that he's really just phoning this one in as well. I mean, I think I follow Louis Mandelor on Facebook, and usually when he's got a new film coming out, he kind of promotes it on Facebook and stuff if he's quite pleased with that film. I don't recall seeing much promotion from this one, but I could be wrong. I'm not as if I follow his page every day or anything like that. So, yeah, this isn't one really that I can recommend to you guys. If you see this one on a supermarket shelf and you've got nothing else to do and it's like £3 or something, give it a go. But I promise you, you'll probably walk away from this one disappointed. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.